This being hardcore primal fear, I had to give myself the best start possible, so I started here in South Zone 1. I quickly worked my way to a stone pick and a stone hatchet, and then I saw it. Considering how fast it's moving, it's got to be an aquatic dodo. So this means it's a no-no on the base here. We have to go somewhere else. Maybe if I go over there, it'll be better. So I did, and started setting up shop. Then I made a bow, which meant only one thing. Time to do some damage. But because this is hardcore, I can't just go around guns a-blazing. I need to pick my battles carefully. Which was why I started with this dillo. Then I picked a fight with the turtle from before. What I did not know is that he had a friend. After about 100 arrows, I was able to take them both out. After farming it up, I noticed the nearby pteranodon. Well, let me see how my bowler throwing skills are. Ooh! One primal trunk spear later, it was in Nappy Land, wherever that is. I have never seen it before. A nearby blue supply crate provided me with an extra 5% on a crossbow. I'll take that any day of the week. Also, dark parrots are showing up now and near my base. I just gotta keep my distance from it even though it's not aggressive, but there are others who may attack it, causing it to get aggressive, and I don't want to be near it when that happens. A scorched jogbog was killed for the chitin for the pteranodon saddle when I unlock it. Then I noticed a trike just peacefully strolling at the end of the day, and I wanted to fix that problem. Seems like the trike understood what I was talking about, so he brought a friend too. Luckily for me, only one of them chased me all the way to the beach, and was knocked out. The pteranodon woke up the next morning and was ready to rumble. So was I. Then I noticed the nearby Alpha Dilophosaur, and I couldn't leave that guy just roaming around. He would cause too much damage, so I had to take him out, and got some good stuff for the trouble. Then it was time to take flight to get some crystal, and the only place I know where getting crystal is safely done is at the Cave of the Massive, all the way on the opposite end of the map. The only thing I gotta watch out for is these buffoon Liopleurodons, if that's how you say that. You know, the buffoon things that's in the water that can swim in air for some reason, those things. I got to the cave, got the crystal, and crafted some soul traps. And now it was time to head back, and just in time to see the trike team up. And I also crafted the awesome spyglass, which meant now I can see everything. The next step in this hardcore primal fear adventure is to get breed pairs so that I can get eggs to make the first tier of kibble. And since I already had a female pteranodon, this meal will do quite nicely. And since I had spoiled all of the raw meat I had up to this point, I needed to go out and get some. This alpha dodo could have provided that raw meat if it wasn't for that alpha nameless. Okay, run, 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 run. I saw this dodo all by itself and took it out for that raw meat because, well, I couldn't find it anywhere else. There we go. That's a male and a female done. Now what I need to do is work my way towards a farm so I can get the crops to actually make the kibble. And I'm not gonna show all of this because it's painful to look at. Placing pipes is literally the worst. The first thing the next day, an alpha shinehorn showed up and wanted to cause some trouble. Well, not really, it was just there. I'm the one that wanted to cause trouble, but it had to go. Doesn't have a headshot multiplier? Come on, of course it doesn't. One bowler later, I was able to take it down. Of course I got nothing from it. And with a compost bin, fertilizer is a minute away. I saw this toxic dodo and I wasn't gonna pass up this opportunity. A trilobite on land literally means free chitin, silica pearls, oil, and a chance at black pearls. So this is what I do every time I see a trilobite on land in the early game. The thing about most female primal fear dinos is that if you hurt it a lot and then feed it these healing stews to heal it up, it has a chance to drop an egg. So of course I tried to do that and did not get a single egg. That's nice. So I'm just gonna take that as a no and go look for a male. Well, I did not find a male, but I found another female. That's gotta say something. Yeah, I remember last time I was here, a very long time ago, there was a loot boss hiding in these trees. We know what happens with loot bosses and trees. We don't want to re-experience that, ever. Well, I found a male. It took a very long time, and half of the map, but I finally found one. And now that I have made boosted toxic dodos, the next day is gonna be excellent. But first I need to get some toxic blood. Ah yes, this toxic power cell ought to do it. Uh-oh, looks like someone wants a piece of the action. Knock this... Time to kill this thing now. I could tame this, but I need the blood. And with that toxic blood acquired, Alpha Kibble is now in the palm of my hand. Mantis, hello, come on please. One of the things I was trying to get was polymer so that I can make the soul terminal to store all of the dinos in there and let them do their thing. This mantis, the very existence of this mantis is going to allow that, because if not, I had to go all the way to where all of those penguins are, and a lot of them in Primal Fear can be explosive. I can't survive that. This mantis is the ticket out of that. Excuse me sir, could you please just piss off? You're ruining my jam here. I made a bold and very risky move coming over here for this metal. I needed it, and well, this was the closest spot and I did not want to travel halfway across the map again. Today was risk it for the biscuit day, battling an apex dillo for a chance at some good loot, though one attack could put this all to an end. A good thing for me is that it was stuck, so taking it out was not an issue. I really was searching for an Alpha Pteranodon, but I couldn't find one, so I went for this guy. Well, I found an Alpha Pteranodon, but these potent trunk arrows weren't cutting it. I needed something better. Also, I noticed a nearby walking nuke, so yeah, this Alpha Pteranodon is out of the question. Yeah, okay, so maybe not that Alpha Pteranodon then. And I'm not sure why it took me this long to think of a long neck rifle with potent trunk darts, because these things are a lot more potent, literally. Well, I did not find another Alpha Pteranodon, but I did find an Alpha Trike, and it's gonna bump up my power level by a lot, so I definitely went for it. One hit from this and it's over. Nice. Why is it that every time I am looking for something, it's always on the opposite end of the map? First try. Nice. Now I have an Alpha Pteranodon, and all I need now is to get the Alpha hide to make the saddle. Looking for Alpha creatures that I can kill almost costed me this entire thing. Oh, what? Celestial Ferox is what that was. After that extreme near miss, I decided to do something that I didn't really have to do but was necessary. And for a small sacrifice, I now have myself a flyable Alpha Pteranodon. Day 5 started off quite nicely with a soul terminal and automation, baby. Now all of the dinos can stay in here and do their thing. And since I was able to get oil from trilobites, I was able to craft a fabricator, and now I have electric power with a generator. Then I went back to that first Alpha Pteranodon I saw and got lucky here with that headshot. And if you wanted to know, yes, the Nuka-Dodo was still there and was very far away. And later that night, another cheeky metal run again was successful. Because if it wasn't, then I would be starting all over, and on a different map too. Day 6 started off with some extra protection, because you'll never know when you'll need it. And then I saw every survivor's early game best friend, the loot boss. Yeah, I still have nightmares about this guy. They're not fun. I flew all the way over to the frozen tundra where I started freezing, but these healing stews are what's keeping me going. I came here for oil because the amount I got from those trilobites just wasn't enough. Another risky move here for some silica pearls to make electronics to get a chainsaw. Yeah, I know, I'm making a lot of risks here even though this is hardcore. Maybe I'm tired of living, I suppose. And this is why the chainsaw is a must-have. And don't ask me why I was doing this with a chainsaw, because I have no idea. The next day I went back to collect that Alpha Pteranodon that I was taming and completely forgot about. Then I battled another Apex Zill officer for some possible loot. And got nothing. and then another one. I went into the cave of the Massive to try to take it on with the Alpha Pteranodon because I needed some chitin, but then came to my senses after realizing the actual horror that this cave would be with a Alpha Pteranodon, so I just left. I made my way to the volcano the next day because I needed some crystal, obsidian and metal. I'm not sure what I'm going to use the obsidian for yet, but I know I needed it. And then after leaving the volcano, I found it. A nice max level Alpha Raptor. And after the airborne struggles of shooting while mounted for quite some time, I was able to knock it out, give it a kibble and make it mine. And since I already have an Alpha Raptor and I'm here in this place, might as well look for a meal, right? And I found one. So you know the drill, rinse and repeat. Which is kind of like the conspiracy of shampoo makers. You don't really need to wash your hair twice. And at the end of the day, I was back at home in one piece without a scratch with a mate pair of Alpha Raptors. The awesome teleporters mod was part of this mod list to make traveling easier and require less time. Mostly to require less time. And this one was getting put down right here. So I can just teleport back home at the end of the day, you know, instead of having to waste a lot of time traveling back. And yeah, you're right, it's about time I started building some walls. Not like it's gonna help, because everything could damage wood, and in Primal Fear, everything does a lot more damage. If you're wondering why I am just flying around all day today, it's because I need to tame elementals next, and those guys have a lot of torpor, and all I have is potent trunk darts. Yeah. I need to find something better. The only thing better is, well, toxic and infused toxic narcotics, but to get those I need rare flowers and mushrooms, which is why I am all the way here at the swamp, risking it all for a bunch of flowers. Yeah, you heard that right. And of course, a not so great decision of mine was to test the waters with a Alpha Trike, because I needed to know what would attack if I was to go down there. Imagine you're like this on the ground in Primal Fear and you started hearing that. Only one type of thing follows after that. Primal Dinos. A force to be reckoned with. These guys will put you down if you have no idea what you're doing, and even sometimes if you know what you're doing. But I needed these rare flowers and it's nowhere near me anymore, so this was my chance. It is day 10 now and I'm setting up the garden to make way for elemental kibble. All I need now is those narcotics. And since I had killed some Apex Dilophosaurs earlier, I had access to Apex infused toxic narcotics, which are, well, as powerful as they sound. Ever wanted to knock yourself out so cold that you might just never get back up? These narcotics will surely get that done. I needed cooked prime meat to make the elemental kibble. This is where I got it from. And now I am ready to harness the power of the elements. And now it was time to fly around the map and locate some elemental dinos. Well, it's nighttime now, and I haven't found a single one. So that's awesome. After not finding a single elemental dino, I returned home the next morning just to upgrade the tools a little bit to speed up my harvesting just a tad. Then I spent a lot of the day gathering tons and tons of stone to upgrade all of the foundations in the base to stone so that it won't take any damage. Though that's not gonna matter because some of the walls were still wood and there's still no ceilings either. A fire griffin was located in the redwoods the next day, and of course because there's thylas on the redwoods trees, and by thylas I mean spirit thylas, chaos thylas, and the primal thylas, you know, the kinds that you don't ever want to see on a tree. Yeah, those kinds were everywhere, I'm sure, or at least I thought so. So I had to provoke this guy into following me very far away from the redwoods. And now that we are far enough away from the redwoods, trunking is nigh. And you know the thing that happens whenever you're trying to knock out something that is flying away from you? Yeah, this thing. Yep, of course it was underwater, but because it was a fire griffin, meaning it was a tier 3 dino, it had a lot of oxygen so it survived. And like any new tame, it must be tested. This guy was dealing 2500 damage, and that, my friends, is a lot of eggs. I don't know why, but it is. I took out an Apex Carcanos because these guys are basically polymer banks. You get like a bajillion polymer from each of these guys and a bajillion more chitin. So there's literally no reason not to fight it if you can. Right, back to the egg situation if you wanted to know. The Easter event was going on right now apparently in Ark. So millions of eggs everywhere apparently. And also negative frames. That's the best part. I was now on the power level to challenge the Dark Parrot, so I did because I'll get elemental hide to make the Griffin saddle, as well as all 4 types of feathers. The only problem is, the corpse fell in the ocean, so I couldn't use the chainsaw, but there was a way to fix that. It goes along the lines of spending lots of time stacking foundations so that you can actually use the chainsaw, and also placing the foundations too low or too high, meaning you have to take them all back down and do it all over until it works. That night it almost happened again, but like Blinkus always said, a life of almost is a life of never. On day 14 I saw my first Primal Tech Dino, and the best part about these guys, aside from the fact that they destroy everything, is that you get black pearls from them. You know what that meant, baby? It was time to get myself a mining drill. You see this was not good. And now I am in need of rare flowers and mushrooms again, because I need to get more narcotics. The mining drill definitely helped out with the mushroom situation. This is what I left with if you wanted to know. And now my dart situation is back up and good. Now that it is time for me to tame elementals to get elemental eggs, the real problem lies now with the trunking method. So I need to get the primal sniper rifle, but I was missing sap. And there is only one way to get sap on the island. Sap tapping redwoods trees. This means I need to get metal to make the sap traps because I have no metal, and also cementing paste because I, well, had none. And this was me waiting on sap for the rest of the day and night, which brings us to day 16. I finally got that rifle. Now it's time to make some gunpowder and get myself those trunk bullets. And these trunk bullets is the easiest way to knock out literally anything, as long as you have enough. And yes, it's in the water again. You get used to it after a while. And of course, that caustic petalite was the only one on the map, so there's no eggs from that, which meant I had to go for others, starting with this ice petalite. And then this one. And just like before, rinse and repeat. And now I have meat boosted elemental dinos, so elemental eggs is no longer an issue. And there's nothing like a pit stop for some metal, with a mining drill of course. Unless of course you have a strider with the excavation rig. Yeah, that's the only thing that's better than this. One thing to remember when playing Primal Fear is, once you can kill a fabled dino and get away with it, do it, because you might get some good blueprints, XP potions and taming helpers. And fabled blood to make those fabled health potions, which are literally the next best thing. If you think upgrading these armors will actually improve my chances of survival, it won't, so then why do I do it? It's simple, I like the colors. And with those elemental eggs just racking up, Apex Kibble is now on the menu. Then I spent the day playing the waiting game for metal to smelt so I can build an industrial forge. This is how the game goes. And at the day's end I finally have it. If you're wondering why it's small like this, that's something you can do with the Structures Plus mod. I came here at the edge of the tundra that night to get some silica pills so that the next day I can get myself a chemistry bench. It's day 19 now and I have myself a chemistry bench. It was the reason I was able to blow up my school lab back in the day. Fun times, fun times. And yes, searching for apex dinos is not as easy as you would think, considering it's only one life I have. It's actually very difficult, because there's a lot of explosive things that's probably everywhere, I don't know, and that's why I need to stay far away from everything as possible. But I saw a celestial griffin and it's probably not gonna be here by the time I'm ready for it. Couldn't find any apex stuff, so I came over here to what is called Monster Island. Yes, I am calling that, and there's a very specific reason. You just have to wait to see exactly what I'm talking about, mate. And I found the first Apex Argentavis. Now it's time to find another, and also not let this one die. I found a Giga. It's a basic one, so, you know, no one really wants that these days. Now that I found another Apex Argentavis, opposite gender as well, it's time to lure it away from everything else so that it will be safe to knock it out. And now on day 20 I have myself made boosted Apex dinos that I can get Apex eggs from, which means I can move on to the next tier. I noticed there was a Tech Rex here, which meant free electronics. Of course I went for it. What do you think I did? Left it alone? I did what she would have done if she had seen me. And with those electronics, I got myself an egg incubator. No more placing down a million torches to hatch an egg. Then I spent the rest of the day here at the base crafting up a lot of bullets in preparation for the next tier of dinos. And you see this Ascendant Primal Rifle blueprint here? Yeah, I need to craft that. And then I ended the day by tossing out all of the different tiers of dinos I have acquired so far and letting them breed a bit as a sort of celebration of my progress. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video here, I'm glad you stuck around. It is very much appreciated. And I hope you will stick around longer because this journey has only just begun. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, rate, comment, and maybe even subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, starting on day 21. I'll see you guys then, and until then, be careful in Primal Fear. You don't know what could sneak up behind you.